I did not expect Fran Bow to get this weird. In my last video, I played Fran Bow for the first time ever after spinning a wheel with over 500 games in my library, and somehow, it turned into one of the strangest games I've ever played. So I decided to continue the story and try to beat the game. But the deeper I got into this game, the darker and more confusing it became. And I eventually got stuck on a puzzle that I genuinely couldn't figure out, even when I looked it up. So today, we're continuing Fran Bow and trying to finally make progress. As a context recap, if you didn't watch the last video, you probably should because the beginning of the game is actually insane. But basically, the wheel landed on Fran Bow, a game I'd literally never heard anything about, and somehow it turned into one of the craziest stories I've ever played through. Last time, we made it all the way to chapter 2 before things started to get really weird. So, in chapter 2, where we left off, Fran had to escape the maze and ended up in this forest looking for a cat, Mr. Midnight. I actually forgot to record this tiny section here, but after solving a few puzzles, end up in this strange magical house. Inside this house, you discover that Mr. Midnight is locked in a cage in the attic, which is already feeling super suspicious. And this is where the game introduces these two twin sisters, except they're not really normal, they're literally stuck together. And they ask you to help them gather ingredients for this ritual that will supposedly separate them. At first, it seems like you're helping them. But then you meet the frog outside the house, and basically, the frog basically just tells you, yeah, these twins are super evil. According to the frog, they've done this ritual before and people have died because of it. He also claims that they cursed him and trapped him there forever. So now you're stuck in the middle of this situation where you have to decide who you want to trust. Eventually, you gather all the items for the ritual, but the frog gives you a trick to sabotage it. So during the ritual, you secretly mess with it, and the result is the twins literally disappear. I think they died. Like, they're completely gone. Which is honestly one of the darker moments of the game so far, because I think we literally killed someone, or two people. But after that, you find a puzzle which gives you the key to unlock Mr. Midnight and rescue him from the cage. This is honestly one of the most satisfying moments because that cat has been missing forever and we have been trying to rescue him since like the beginning of the game. And then we go outside to escape and we have to figure out a way to get across from the pond, but actually the frog transforms and becomes a giant frog. And he gives us a ride across the pond and that turns into a slight mini game where you're kind of playing like I forget the word for it, crossy roads, but on water. It felt pretty random, but it was also kind of cool for a change of pace. But once you get across and you feel like, okay, maybe now we finally get to escape and go back. But then the creepy monster shows up that has been chasing us since the beginning of the game. And we try to get across the bridge, but the monster literally knocks it down and knocks Fran all the way down this giant ravine. And it puts us in a cutscene with Fran's parents. She's like super upset and like, bro, she just wants to go back to normal. You can just tell, but basically, after the cutscene, you wake up and Fran is turned into a tree. She can speak and has eyes, but she has no limbs. And now you're playing as Mr. Midnight, the cat, and basically you're like walking around for a bit, but then these strange creatures show up that are kind of like trees, and they're just like poking Fran for a while until eventually you show them a photo of her and they take you to their leader. You meet the Tree King, who kind of explains that basically Fran turned herself into a tree to protect herself from death and her emotions, which actually added a lot to the story and the lore. And basically he says he can give her limbs as a tree, and he introduces her to this cool flying doctor that they kind of look like an axolotl. But the flying doctor takes you to this magical pond in which he gives Fran these new tree limbs, so now she's just walking around kind of with like a tree skin over herself, which is honestly the weirdest thing I've ever said ever. But basically, then the king tells you that the only way you're gonna get your original body back and get home is to find this wizard that nobody has talked to in like hundreds of years, and he's at the top of the mountain during winter time. And then he's basically set you off in this whole new tree area with all these tree people, and you eventually find the season clock, which in this realm you are able to change seasons simply with the click of a button. You have to solve a couple puzzles to fix the clock and pay this guy to fix it, but once you do, then you're able to control from anywhere what season you're in with the click of a button. We lost the ability to use the pills to change rooms, but now we have the ability to change seasons. So there's 4 different areas instead of just the one with the pills. And once you fix that, you can change it to winter to meet the wizard. And of course, he doesn't just send you straight home. He makes you go through about, I think, like, it was, yeah, 7 puzzles. And after you complete all those 7 puzzles, collecting them items to get the stones back to recover his memories, you get the stones, and the wizard finally sends you back, but immediately you have to run from a monster again in another mini game. It kind of reminded me of the when you're offline and you try to use Wi-Fi and Google and you can play the T-Rex game. It was a lot like that, where you just click to jump to dodge obstacles. And then after surviving that, you reach chapter 4. This is where I met a character named Itward. He offers to help Fran. Well, first he traps you, and then he's like, hey, I'm actually, like, here to help you, supposedly. We still don't know if he's trustworthy. And he says he has this magical ship to take her back home, which seems super promising. This is where I got stuck, though. I got stuck, like, super hard on this one chemistry puzzle, and even, like, looking up, trying to figure out what I need to do. I swear I've done everything right. I still haven't gotten past it. So that's where I picked up to today. I got all the way up to chapter 4. So if you enjoyed weird puzzle horror games like this, or if you actually played Fran Bow before and understand what's going on, let me know in the comments. And if you want me to finish the game, make sure to like and subscribe, because I definitely want to see how this story ends. Have a great week, everyone.